Ifarike,
Yes.
would you begin, please?
Elarawa, 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 Arumla Korowa, Arumla Korowa, Arumla Korowa, Tuba Beni, Oko Wusi Korowa, Tuba Beni, Diama Wusi Korowa, Tuba Beni, Ivara, Ebiti, Ojulo Mawa, Siliaya Korowa, Eba Baba, Eba Yeye, Eba Oluo, Eba Ojubona, Eba Egbe, Eba Egun, Eba Iami, Ashe.
Shawa, Ifatusin,
Edgy Ogbe. Can you hear me, Baba?
no, we cannot.
My phone is ringing right now. I do apologize. A few more seconds.
Ashe,
Can you hear me now, Baba?
oh, 1,000% better. Ashe,
I can. Edgy Ogbe. He who hears the people's plea and accepts the plea. He who hears the people's plea and approves of the plea. He who talks to the people and ensures that the talk conversation is completely absorbed. He who hears the people's plea is the name of Ifa. He who hears the people's plea and accepts the plea is the name of Ifa. He who hears the people's plea and approves of the plea is the name of Eshu Odara. He who talks to the people and ensures that the talk is completely absorbed is the name of Orisan La. Orisan La, you are the molder of human beings, and the one that molds one cannot fail to impress one. The striped frog is the one who
Ashe,
summons the rainfall, and the bullfrog is the one who summons the downpour. It is whatever the Ekere Jupon tree root tells the earth that the earth accepts. Whatever the big rat tells the earth, that is what the earth accepts. All of what I tell you, Ifa, please approve and accept them. Ashe, Ashe, why?
Ashe. So, so it tells us the way to bake the cake. Assemble the ingredients, put the ingredients together, and cook it, right? It's the process. Edgy Oak Bay, right, for expansion tells us about the process. It reminds us in several ways, right, that in the process, we need to maintain a particular type of energy. That we should be mindful and aware of what we say, what energy we vibing on, whether we in our elevated conscious energy or we in some lower vibrational stagnant energy. Edgy Oak Bay, the bringer of expansion, light, groups, issue, ask us to make sure that we are articulating our desires, right? Being mindful about what we say. If we say it is good, it is good. If we say it is bad, it is bad. It says the striped frog is the one who summons rainfall. The bullfrog is the one who summons downpour. It is whatever the Akos Jiro palm tree roots tell the earth will accept. Remember, the tree roots grow under pressure. This spreading out, right? This growth, right, under pressure is what lends to stability. That asks us to rely on these energies for those things that we need in the physical, in this 3D. It shows us that we must put things into the spiritual, to the 5D, so that it will come back and manifest in the 3D. Ashe. So again, Aboro Boy, Boshi Shell, Lori, Awo, Ianifa, Ili Dingbe, Ili Du Temple. Eku Oshe, Ogun, and Oshosi. May the hunter of heaven and the hunter of earth always move together. So last week, right, we had Obara Tura, Obara on the right, and Otura on the left. This was the Ifa that was cast for Ose Ifa. Came in Ire Aiku. So this Odu Ifa asked us to respect women. It asked women to respect women. Right? We can see it in some of the other Odus, right? But when we see it, are we understanding really what it's talking about? Right? So we know that we all respect women. We all have a healthy respect for our mothers. We have a healthy respect for our daughters. We have a healthy respect for our wives and our children. Right? So whatever aspect that is, but it's a little bit deeper than that when it comes to these verses sometimes. On the surface, it asks us to respect women, but it's more telling, right? Because it asks us to perpetuate a particular type of energy. Some of the messages that we have from last week was balance. Ire egungun, abok mariti. Well, last week they said balance. Ire alapia, right? The whole message was about balance. Ejife. So when we cast the weekly Odu, it tells us about balance. Right? It tells us that balance between men and women, right? Ejife, right? Between masculine and feminine. It tells us to offer ipese for iami. So we get to see it in certain ways. And when we do Dafa, things like that, that we have to balance these energies. Right? It's the mothers that will help support us, right? They'll protect us. Those of you with children will protect your children no matter what. Our parents, our mothers protect us no matter what. This balance between what is good and what is right versus sometimes our emotions or experience. This is another way that this Ifa says that we need to balance. So it's not just the balance, the outward balance between men and women, but it is the internal balance between your divine masculine and your divine feminine. Right? That's the high vibrational, or the balance between your high vibrational energies and your lower vibrational energies. We needed to make an offering in order to cultivate certain types of energy to bring balance. The Odu Ifa Bar Tour talks about Apake, Aroke. We kind of went through that. The scorpion has a deadly sting. This is the E5 cast for the Oba of Oyo Land, the husband of many women. When going to wage war on Ilogere, the spirit entertained no fear. E5 cast for the inhabitants of Ilogere, when they are consistently in fear of uprising, they're advised to offer a bow. There is no war as interesting as the war of Ilogere. The war of the Oba is very interesting. The war waged by the Oba is cooler than water. No war is as sweet and interesting as the war of Ilogere. The war waged by the Oba is cooler than water. Ashe. So, Omi, water, coolness. Is this one of the attributes that we should have took on last week? Is this one of the things that we should have carried with us from last week, from that Oshe into this Oshe? Coolness. So The verse is kind of deceptive because it talks about the Oba of oil being married to many wives. Who was the Orisha that had many wives? Anyone?
Is it Shango?
I
No,
said.
is it no, it's the damn.
No. Calm down, Baba. Calm down.
I'm trying to remember.
You had it right the first time.
That's what we say every
Hold on,
time I
Baba.
remember.
Abura boy. You said the answer. Let's move on.
My bad. Okay, shit.
Shango. Shango. So Shango is the Oba with many wives. Anybody want to expound on that? Who are the wives of Shango? Oba, Ifatusin,
Oba, Oshun, and Oya.
Benny. So who are these women considered to be? Anybody else? Awi Patayo,
Yummy.
Ashe. So we can see it, right? So there may be without balance, without coolness, without a level head, right? So Ilogary is the battlefield, but it's the battlefield that is flat. In essence, it's saying that there is no battle. Coolness, even under pressure, we have the support of the EME. We just need to offer them. The Orisha and Arumale support. Oshun says, Suru, Ireaiku, asking us to continue to be balanced for continued longevity. So we can see it here. So moving into this week, right, we have Osalo Conran. So we moved from last week into this week with balance. We moved from last week into this week, right, with level-headed, with coolness, with discipline. So coming into this week, we have Osalo Conran Iriaje. Again, if I ask us to appease Iami, right? Why? For victory. Ishegun Ota, Ebo Ota. Everybody say Ebo Ota.
Ebo Ota.
Ebo Ota.
Eba Ota.
Ebo Ota.
Ebo
Ebo Ota.
Ebo Ota.
Ebo Ota.
So let's chant the verse really briefly, and then we'll discuss. Osa Lokanran, Ifani. Osa Olokanran.
Osa
Osa Olokanran.
He ran forcefully.
He
He
ran
ran
forcefully.
forcefully.
And he walked fiercely.
And he
He
walked
walked
fiercely.
fiercely.
The leopard is known for its fearful movements.
The leopard
The
The
is
leopard
leopard
is
is
known
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 for its
for his
fearful
fearful
movement.
movement.
Ifa's message for Orumila.
Ifa's
Ifa's
message
message
for
for
Orumila.
Orumila
When lamenting his inability
when
when
lamenting
lamenting
his
his inability
to receive the blessing of financial success.
to
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 receive
receive
the
the blessing
blessing
of
of financial
financial
success.
success.
He was advised to offer above.
He was
He was
advised
advised to
to
offer
act
Ebel.
above.
He complied.
He
He
complied.
complied.
The blessing of financial success
The blessing of financial success
Success
had strolled into the home
and showed
and
into the
showed
into the
into
home
the home
of Owl Owen Winu.
of
our
our Win.
Ashe.
Asher.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Shewa.
So briefly, right? Then we're gonna discuss a little bit more. He ran forcefully and he walked fiercely. Right. So it's almost like for me, it's like someone or something is being chased. Right. So we could be running from something, right? And something is following us. Or we could be running to something, right? And we could be chasing something. So whichever way it goes, right? Either you can be being chased or you can be chasing something. This Odu Ifa gives us both examples, right? Both instances. These two things are going on. Someone is running forcefully, right? We can try hard, we can move in a certain direction, we can be persistent, we can be obstinate, we can keep facing in one direction when it's the negative. Or we can move in a certain way with conviction, walking fiercely, determined. So this is some of the energy that we will take on or embody this week. Obatala asked us to move with strong character, right? Because this is the way to Ire. Continued balance, right, brings longevity and added Ire. So we know Aj is not just talking about pocket money. It's talking about those material things that we love, that we enjoy, right? House, car, spouse, children, good relationships. But we have to have strong character. We have to be resilient. We can't give up. We can't deny. We can't be disillusioned, right? That's not having strong character. Trust. This is just for the weekly, right? So embodying this energy like we did last week. Last week we had to embody a particular type of energy, right? Coolness. The coolness brought us into this week where now that it may be some type of obstacle, challenge, adversity, right? It always is. Last week, coolness in that aspect of the challenge, right, will bring us prosperity this week. One O'Shea cycle is connected to the next, right? We embodied that energy, we called in this opportunity. That through whatever challenge or adversity we had, that the outcome of that is this opportunity for abundance. It tells us again, like I said, Obatala says strong character, Iriaj. Balanced character, Iriaj. Egungun, strong character, Iriaj. Again, over the next 4 days, strong character, remain disciplined. Then we have Ose Ifa, where it's telling us that there's some times that we need to run forcefully. We need to move quickly with strength, right? Speed. There's these things that we may need to move quickly on, right? There's these things that we may need to be a little bit more patient on, right? We can take it both ways. We should. And we should walk fiercely. Be determined, strong character, walking upright, being erect, having good iwa integrity, all those types of things, right? Why? Because the leopard is known for its fearful movement. Whether it's the leopard that is, again, acting or behaving in a certain manner. The leopard by itself should automatically earn some level of respect. This was Ifa's message to Arumula when lamenting his inability to receive the blessing of financial success. So the leopard, let's say that we sometimes will be running forcefully in a particular direction. We have an opportunity, we must seize it. Right? We're trying to make this transition from one thing in our life to another. One time in our life to the next. Right? This is what it's about, right? Transforming. So we may be running in a particular direction when we only need to walk. These awkward movements, right, that bring fear and respect, that we may not be sure of what the next move is. We may be uncertain about the outcome of particular actions. This Ifa says that whatever it is that may be chasing us and whatever thing that we may be going after, the outcome of it will be financial success, financial blessing. Which way will it be? How will we move after our goal? Because if I ask us this week to, again, offer a bow, we did that, and to be in a position of receiving. So it asks us not to be running, not to be moving or walking fiercely, right? That we should not be in the state of chasing anything. That's left for the leopard. That forceful running, that fierce walking, those fearful movements. Ask us not to entertain fear, not to be in a rush, right? Not to be too prideful. These things are the things that stand in the way of our financial success. So what does Arumula do? He offers a bow. The blessing of financial success has strolled into the home of Awo. It tells us not to chase. Don't have fear. Don't make these movements based on fear. We may be chasing the bag. We may be chasing spouse. We may be chasing children. We may be chasing one opportunity or the other. If I says with that bow, we should only receive. So again, right, I said it in the beginning, right? We move in the beginning of the verse in our divine masculine, right? Expansion, moving forward. The sacrifice here is to receive. Put yourself in a position to receive. How do you do that, right? Following Ifa calling us out, right? Because there are things with Ose Ifa, there are obstacles, right, that block the return of the prosperity. But with Abo, right, we move those energetic blocks to our blessing. so that we can then be in a state to receive. Obatala, Egungun, Ifa, Egbe, Oshun, they all echo this sentiment. Let those advise the offer both do so accordingly. Ashe, questions, concerns, comments on this O'Shea? Going once, going twice. Aburo Boya Boshishe.